Welcome to episode 2 of Richard's Travels in Spain. In this episode, we head south from the capital to Andalusia and enjoy the cities of Granada, Sevilla, and Ronda. Andalusia represents most people's conceptions of Spain. The guitar, ladies with dark hair combed into a mantilla, flamenco, and Moorish architecture. Andalusia is indeed all of that and more. In Granada, the tradition is that for every drink you order, you're served a plate of increasingly complex and delicious tapas. With my first caña, a small 6-ounce beer, I was served simple green olives. For my second, I was served a tortilla, which in Spain is a potato and egg omelet. For my third caña, I was served a salpicón, which was a delicious medley of fresh shellfish and a vinaigrette. It was exquisite and became my favorite item to order anywhere and everywhere in town. The Alhambra is a breathtakingly beautiful Moorish palace above the city with a dramatic backdrop of the Sierra Nevada mountains. In 1492, the forces of Christian Spain accepted the surrender of its Sultan Boabdil, and the 800-year reign of the Moors ended. The palace is filled with gardens and fountains. Its walls are carved with Quranic verses and intricate geometric designs. You will see no depictions of humans or animals here. Islamic tradition reserves that work for God's own hand. Ernest Hemingway told the bitter and violent story of the Spanish Civil War in his novel, For Whom the Bell Tolls, that took place in the Sierra Nevada outside Granada. I rented a car and drove to a small village called Huéjar de la Sierra to spend a day hiking and relaxing at Maria Luisa's Airbnb. Later, after meeting Alex, a German backpacker, I enjoyed a typical Andalusian meal prepared by my host, Maria Luisa. She and I, along with 2 other guests from England, retired to the veranda of her rustic home and discussed politics and history, with me switching between Spanish and English like a professional interpreter. At 10 p.m., I walked into the village and found it bursting with activity. I listened to the band and found an outside table for tapas and a nightcap. I spent only a day in Sevilla to look around before renting a car for my trip to Ronda, one of the whitewashed Pueblos Blancos. Here's my small and rather plain little room in Ronda. Gee, I wonder what I get to see outside my window. Well, damn. Puente Nuevo. That's my view. The Rio down below. Can't beat the view. Ronda is split into the old and new town by the Rio Tajo that is crossed via the impressive Puente Nuevo. I took a path into the canyon that descended to the river and then followed the ancient cobblestone street up and around the town with its wonderful views. Also, one of the famous pueblos blancos was Zahara de la Frontera. It was a quaint village with shady streets, and after a good lunch, I climbed the ancient fortress tower before returning to Sevilla. Sevilla was in the middle of an intense heat wave, but that did not prevent me from wandering about and getting myself purposefully lost. When the 106-degree temperatures became too much, I would find a park or an air-conditioned restaurant to stop. Sevilla's Real Alcázar was the home of Christian royalty, but built by Moorish architects. Water symbolized wealth, like the Alhambra in Granada. It boasted of gardens and fountains. More recently, the palace was seen on HBO's Game of Thrones as the Palace of the Kingdom of Dorne. If you've been getting the idea that my trip was as much exploring flamenco and eating tapas as it was Spain's history, you'd be correct. I took in an excellent flamenco show at the Museo del Flamenco and found a food court that specialized in a whole range of interesting and tasty tapas. Thus ended my journey through Andalusia, and I returned to Madrid on the AVE high-speed train at 235 miles per hour. There were so many pictures and video that had to be skipped through the editing process. Here are some of my favorites. Enjoy! In episode 3 of Richard's Travels, we journeyed to northern Spain and enjoyed the Festa de Santiago in Santiago de Compostela, hike the mountains and picos de Europa, drink sidra in León, and visit the bustling cities of Bilbao and Barcelona. We'll also take a voyage to the Mediterranean islands of Mallorca and Ibiza.